From Palmerton Stadium in Palmerton, Pennsylvania, Twin County Cable 4 Sports presents the District 11 Class AA Championship Football game. Tonight's matchup features the Catasauqua Rough Riders. They come in with a record of 8-2 under head coach Ed Sensitz in his 14th season as the head coach, as they will take on the Palmerton Blue Bombers. They are 9-2 on the year. They're coached by Manny Gatiss. Manny officially is in his first year as the head coach of Palmerton High School. Hello, everybody. I'm Gary Laubach along with Dick Tracy, and excitement is reigning in the Palmerton area, Dick. Signs all over the businesses coming up in town. The folks are out here standing in line waiting for the gates to open. This is certainly a big, big event in Palmerton.
We thought we were the first ones in town, Gary, and we couldn't get a parking spot. They were ready to go. Yeah, it's old-fashioned football night. You got the night for it, you got the weather for it, you got the small-town atmosphere, you got about 15 kids who want to go out there and bang heads. Perfect setting.
The first story, of course, is the fact that Palmerton is here at all in this football game. They had all kinds of coaching problems earlier in the season. Their head coach, because of health problems, walked away from this football team just about 3 weeks before the season was about to begin. Manny Gatiss, who had spent 10 years as the head football coach at Palmerton, make it 9 years, this is his 10th, then stepped into the program, Dick, told me on the phone that he thought he had about a 500 team at best. This is a team that has now tied the Palmerton record for the most wins in a season.
This must be the greatest feeling of all, Gary. You know, to come in with mediocre expectations and then wind up in something like this. You know, you just cannot do any more. This is the kind of situation, if Palmer were to lose, that the fans are going to stand up and cheer, as they did for Lee Heighton last year. Remember, they were just so happy to be here and be a part of it, and that's what you have here with Palmer tonight.
They were last in this football game in 1985, a ball game that Dick handled, as a matter of fact, over at Whitehall High School against East Stroudsburg. It's a ball game they would like to forget. They did not play well. They lost the ball game 28-0. Catasauqua, Dick, familiar grounds for them. They were in the 90 game, the 91 game. Now they're in the 92 game. They also played in 1984. They lost the championship in 86. They won all the others.
They played in them all. I'll tell you, the Catasauqua's approach to it: come in quietly, get off the bus quietly, go in the locker room quietly, go out in the field quiet, as if we've been here before and we know the atmosphere. Eddie Sensitz, just another day at the office for Eddie. Palmerton, all psyched up, ready to go. You know, there's a new thing and the kids are having fun. Caddy approaches it with a more business-like approach simply because they've been here before and they know what it's all about.
There is a little bit of a new atmosphere, however, in the Catasauqua locker room, because this is a football team that, after winning 8 straight, has lost the last 2, Dick. They played some big football games here in November, and it just gets bigger. Pressure really a problem for this ball club?
I would think so, Gary, simply because that schedule, you always end up playing in East Stroudsburg, which is always a football power. You always play up Northampton. You know, no matter how the season or postseason goes, you still got Northampton, an East Penn team who plays quality football program, lurking beyond. So there's always the pressure of the end of the schedule. Then when you know it, they hit a Bangor, a Wilson, Saucon, you know, almost back-to-back, and they got 3 weeks in a row of hectic. Then they come up against Nazareth tail end when it means everything. All kinds of pressure with the schedule.
They have played everybody at full strength, and Palmerton certainly at full strength tonight, despite the loss of Bobby Hahn, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's take a look at the Catasauqua backfield and receiver people. And this is a ball club now a little bit in transition, Dick, as we are not going to see Jason Andrews out there, as Mike Gilmartin will start at split end, Jim Druckenmiller at tight end, Travis Brett at wingback because Mutarelli has an injured hand. Mutarelli, Dick, can play, he just can't catch the football.
That's right. You're going to have Travis Brett going on the offensive side of it. You're going to have a freshman, Corey Bile, going on the defensive end of it for him. But get out your programs, folks, because you're going to see a lot of new faces for Caddy. As you said, Gary, it's something in transition. We really haven't put a finger on it. Eddie preferred not to. Well, you know, Eddie's low-key to begin with, and he just passed it off and said, hey, we're going to block, we're going to tackle. It's the same as before.
And that's exactly what it is. I think Ed Erie may be a key to this football team tonight, although if they decide to go to Lauer and Linton all night long with a Palmerton attack, this ball game could be over in about 50 minutes.
Well, if you got subs, you might want to play basic. And if you play basic, then it'll be Lauer and Linton, Lauer and Linton, Lauer and Linton. Once in a while, a little sprinkle of Erie with a pop pass or something like that. But it would appear that if you're going to use people in not strange but in unique positions, you know, that you haven't used full-time before, that maybe you'd want to hang on to the ball forever.
The strength of the Palmerton football team appears to be in their offensive line. They are outstanding. They run the ball very, very well. Let's take a look at their backfield people and their receivers. At quarterback, they will have Chris Lucicandish. He's 5'6", 157-pound junior, Dick, but he's been there for 3 years.
3-year starter, started since his freshman year. They tell me he's very mechanical, robot-like, but he's like one of the Tony Rices, like the Penn State quarterback. Unheralded, all they do is win. Go out there, give him the big record, give him the leadership, because that's one of the first things that came out of Coach Sensit's mouth. He said, this kid has leadership ability. He'll be telling seniors what to do. Hey, that's important for a quarterback.
Bobby Hahn was their tailback through 8 of their football games, and then he went down with an injury, and stepping right in was Mark Recker. Recker has only had 100-yard games in every game he has played. Recker has indeed been a wrecker.
Yes, you will find that Palmerton will run the option series extremely many times tonight. It's going to be the faking by the quarterback, the inside handoff to Slivka, and then try and get Record outside, because I know Catasauqua fears Record's speed. They'd almost like to see a Horn in there instead. They think they could catch up then if he breaks one. But he says Record, they tell me, is one great sprint champion.
Yeah, you're going to see the option a great deal tonight. Slivka may be handling the ball, Record getting the ball on the pitch at tailback. This is a ball club that loves the run. They are not particularly fond of the pass. Both the teams are strong, Dick, defensively, only giving up 9 points a game. They're only giving up around 100 yards a game total offense. So I don't know whether we're going to see a real trench ball game tonight with low scoring, or whether or not the two offenses might be too strong for the defense.
Well, the thing is, can the defense destroy what the offense wants to do, and that's control the ball? Again, you're talking about a one possession a quarter type thing, long drive, just eat that clock up and hold on to the ball. But the defenses are so potent. One coming in with a 9.1 average, one coming in with an 8.7. That's slightly over 1 score a game, Gary. So you say two things. One, they got to play great D, and two, they got to be able to control the ball on offense. Both those teams want to do exactly that. So what's the difference? The difference could be, again, that critical turnover or the pass that they could break for the big one.
There is still hope, too, for state playoff action. Bermudian Spring and Cocalico are teams ahead of both of these ball clubs, but they have to play this weekend, next week, and a loss could really hurt their chances and move one of these two teams into state playoff action. But right now, we've got two football teams playing for a District 11 Class AA championship. We'll have kickoff coming your way right after this timeout. Acquaintances up here in the booth, Paul Plattenberg, Tony Choi. Always fun to see these people, but right now we're going to go down to Marty Androvic, our referee, and listen into the toss of the coin.
Your umpire here is Al Capobianco. He's going to record all the transition that's going on right here. Catasauqua, you're the visiting team. I need someone to call the coin toss. Who has the honor of doing that? Okay, take notice. It is a head, and there's your tail. You call it while I toss in the air. If I drop it, I will toss it again, okay? Call it. Call for a head. Come down, take a look, Al. It is a head. You're one of choice. You want to defer. Okay. Catasauqua has won the toss and is deferring.
Catasauqua won the toss and third choice.
You want to receive? That means which way do you want to kick? Switch it off. Okay. We're going right there.
Catasauqua has deferred their choice. They'll receive the football in the second half. There's tonight's officials. The referee, Marty Androvic. The back judge, Dick Snell. The line judge is Jim Demara. The head linesman, Fred Dute. The umpire is Al Capobianco. And the field judge is Bill Schneider. Caddy comes into the ball game as co-champion of the Colonial League. Palmerton waiting to see what East Stroudsburg and Stroudsburg do on Thanksgiving Day, to see whether or not they will be co-champion. That's the best they can do in the Centennial League, is end up as the co-champion. Dick Tracy, for Palmerton, as we said at the top of the show, they've had only 5 winning seasons in, I think, about the last 30 years. So this is certainly a big event in Palmerton.
Big event there, and of course they filled this place up to capacity.
Our championship kickoff is brought to you by Rarick Dodge. The 1993 Dodge Intrepid has arrived at Rarick Dodge in Bath. Roger, Joan, and Gary are celebrating the arrival of this revolutionary cab-forward aerodynamic vehicle with a special offer to all customers. Come to Rarick Dodge and test drive the all-new Dodge Intrepid or any new Dodge car or truck and register to win a weekend vacation in Atlantic City. If you are the lucky winner of the Atlantic City vacation drawing on November 30th, Rarick Dodge will give you 1,000 quarters to start your vacation. Stop at Rarick Dodge on Route 512 in Bath and experience the excitement of driving the all-new Dodge Intrepid. For a clean deal, come to Bath. Come to Rarick Dodge, just minutes north of Route 22 on Route 512 in Bath. Getting ready to kick off for Catasauqua is Jeff Wukich. Deep to receive for Palmerton is Jesse Reyes. He wears number 10, and Mark Recker, number 22. A beautiful night for football. Dick, I would guess the temperature down around 35 degrees. And here we go with the kickoff. The District 11 Class AA championship game is has begun. With the football, Eric Bollinger. Bollinger took it on the 20 and brings the ball up to about the 38-yard line before Jeff Wukic brings him down. The kicker, 1st and 10 for Palmerton. Their offense at tight end, Joel Hemingway. The right tackle, Lyman Gruber. The right guard is 51, Mike Miller. The center is 52, Brent Rarick. The left guard, 57, Randy Kaner. The left tackle is 55, Tom Soloway. And the tight end, 86, Eric Bollinger. Here's our first play from the 38-yard line. Recker's going to throw the football. He puts it up. He's got a man wide open in Rarick. And Rarick dropped the ball. It would have been a big blue bomber opening all the way down to the 30-yard line. It just simply goes down as an incomplete pass.
Well, one of those plays, Gary, you know, that you want to spring on the defense. They're looking for the tailback. They're looking for Recker outside. They're looking for Slifka. Here's the pitch. Stop. A little too much loft, Gary. He just didn't give him the lead. He was out there. Couldn't hold on. Combination of two things.
Obviously, Recker not a quarterback. At quarterback is number 2, Chris Lusakanish. The fullback, 33, Mark Slifka. The tailback is 22, Mark Recker. The wingback is Ernie Rarick. He wears number 32. This is the fullback, Mark Slifka, with the football. He is put down immediately by Ondish. Drew Ondish, an outstanding defensive football player, perhaps the best football player in the Colonial League from a defensive standpoint. There's going to be a loss of a yard on the play and bring up a 3rd and 11.
Yeah, he's one of the pits, Gary. He's one of those two-way performers. That white jersey that'll be dirty before the night's over. He's just a tough kid who plays a great game of football both ways.
Ryan Williams at nose guard for Caddy. The defensive tackles are Drew Ondish and Dave McNamara. The defensive ends for Caddy, Paul Specht and Travis Brett. Big early play here for Palmerton on a 3rd and 11. Back to throw is Lusakanish. Lusakanish has a man. Good catch by Bollinger. And Bollinger is all the way up into Catasauqua territory, all the way down to the 37-yard line. A gain of 26 yards and a 1st down before John Linton makes the tackle.
3 nice things happened for the Bombers, Gary. Number 1, the receiver measured the yard perfectly. Well-timed, good hook pattern, 1st down entry. Number 2, the pass was just high enough. That was great. And number 3, the perfect pattern was run.
Bollinger did a nice job catching it at the 50-yard line. Bollinger, 5'11", 168-pound junior. 1st and 10, the first down of the ball game. Handoff goes to Slifka. Slifka gets the ball inside the 35, down to about the 33-yard line before John Linton puts him down. That's a pickup of 4 and brings up a 2nd and 6.
Well, we have the perfect ideal setting for a football game. The tough offensive line of Palmerton against the tough defensive forward wall of Catasauqua. That's the setting on both sides of the ball this evening.
What we haven't seen is what we expected to see most often tonight, and that's Mark Recker carrying the football. The first time he touched it, he threw it. Now he's going to carry it for the first time. Recker is maybe going to get a yard, but we've got a penalty flag on the play. This is in the area of holding or a face mask, and we'll wait and see what Marty Androvic tells us. We've got a face mask call against Caddy. So a gain of 2 yards on the carry, and then they're going to tack on to that another 15 yards as the ball will be placed down at the 15-yard line.
Well, at the beginning of a game, momentum always starts out even, Gary. Palmerton got the momentum going, believe it or not, on an incomplete pass. Since then, they got the perfect pattern on the curl, and now they get the added penalty, marking the 1st down deep situation.
2nd 1st down of the ball game for Palmerton. They are on the move. The handoff, it is no handoff, as Lusakanish drops the football, and Caddy has it. Brad Lauer came in. They call him the Anvil, and he may have put a hit on Lusakanish and came up with a fumble recovery. The first turnover, Dick, is a big one.
Caddy played the options so well. You'll see it. They don't go for the dive man, Slifka. Instead, they go for the option quarterback. There's the hit, internal hit, and there's Lauer on the recovery. Give that hit to number 80.
Number 80 for Caddy is Jason Cantola. Catasauqua with the football. 1st and 10 from their own 18-yard line. So they'll start deep in their own territory. It's John Linton, the ball carrier. He puts his head down, barrels forward, gets out over the 20 to about the 21-yard line. We talked to Ed Sensitz about playing pressure game after pressure game and how his ball club was handling it. This is what he told us.
Getting Manly ready for the big games, is really not a problem. I mean, the fact that the big games alone should make the players pretty intense. And when you're in a championship game, there really shouldn't be any problem getting mentally prepared for the game. This game, district game, playing Palmerton, haven't played Palmerton for quite a few years since the Oleander Valley League. It's really kind of nice to play somebody different. We're looking forward to it, and I don't see any problem at all really getting ready to play.
John Linton, the ball carrier again on that play, and Reyes and Recker, Dick, were a wrecking crew as they came up and hit John very hard.
Well, they told us Palmerton can play defense. Coach Gady said if there's anywhere which is really shown, it's on the defensive end of it, and they've shown us on the first 2 caddy tries.
Gain of a couple of yards brings the ball up to the 23-yard line. It's a 3rd and 5. Big play for Ed Erie, the Catasauqua quarterback. Ed, a 6 foot, 175-pound senior, is back to throw. He's getting a rush from Gruber. Gruber is trying to find him. Erie gets the ball away to Linton. Linton may have a little bit of running room. If he gets to the outside, what a juke by John Linton. And he looks like he may have the first down. A great move by John Linton. It looks like he might have gotten up to the 29-yard line, and that's going to be a first down. We have an injured Blue Bomber down on the field, and I think it's quarterback Chris Lusakanish who's shaken up. Look at this play by Erie, Dick.
Wow. Talk about a scrambler. Not only scrambles, Gary, but finds the open man. And then you get a little juke by Linton, and boy, he must smell that first down marker.
He got 6 yards. He needed 5. It's a first down for Catasauqua. The ball is at the 30-yard line, and we've got a Chris Lusakanish down on the field. He is the Blue Bomber quarterback. Easton Auto Body is a full-service automotive garage, and they're proud to sponsor tonight's football game. Easton Auto Body is located at 1328 Elm Street in Easton, and they have 24-hour towing and road service every day. For the best in complete car and truck service and local or long-distance towing, call Tom at Easton Auto Body, the number 252-6502. We have an injury down on the field. We're going to call timeout up here in the booth. We have no score, first quarter. That's Dick Tracy. I'm Gary Lava. Chris Lusakanish did not go off the field under his own power, and it does not appear at the moment. But we'll see Chris Lusakanish back into this ball game. Jesse Reyes is the second-string quarterback for the Blue Bombers, but right now it's Catasauqua football, 1st and 10. Brad Lauer gets the ball, gets out over the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Maybe got a yard on the play. Mark Slipka in on the tackle.
This is a time, Gary, when there's Lusakanish on the sideline. Boy, he wants to sit up, doesn't he? This is the time where Palmerton has played a little emotion because they lost the ball in the turnover. That hurt them. They had them pinned for a big loss in a 4th down situation coming up. They lost that one. They lose their offensive and defensive player, Lusakanish. Now they just got to call it emotional defensive play.
Here comes the pitch to Linton around the left side. He cuts up inside. There's some hard hitting going on out there. Tackle made by Ernie Rarick along with Bollinger. And every time John Linton touches the football, Dick, they go after him.
That's a comment I was going to make, Gary. So far, you've seen a swarming Palmerton defense. You don't see him attack you with 1 or 2 guys. They got 3 or 4 guys going to the spot. Looks to me as if most teams would key on Linton. Got to watch out for Lauer then. He's too good a runner.
Coming out wide to the right side is Gil Martin as it brings up a 3rd and 6. The ball's on the 34-yard line. Ed Erie's going to roll to the right. He's going to get rushed. And Erie steps up inside, fires the football, and it goes off of the hands of the intended Catasauqua receiver. That person is number 88, I believe, Travis Brett. And the pass ball's incomplete, and Caddy's going to have to punt the ball away.
Boy, again, Gary, you get a picture image of that Palmerton defense. That's twice that he has passed and twice he's run for his life. He came awfully close to going over the line of scrimmage that time.
He was about a half a step away. Jason Andrews is the Catasauqua punter. Back to receive Mark Recker along with Cody Gildner, number 24. And it's a high snap, but Andrews gets it and almost had it blocked. It's an end-over-end punt that comes down to the 30-yard line where it's picked up by Recker. He weaves his way up over the 45 up to about the 48-yard line. A punt of 36 yards.
Ernie Rarick, number 32, came very close to getting that punt. Only a good block by Brad Lauer kept him away from the ball. Recker showed us a little bit of the return. Any sense it fears him, Gary. He is a real breakaway threat.
And we see Jesse Reyes, number 10, into the ball game. He's only a sophomore. 5'10", 160 pounds. Lou Sakanish has been the starting quarterback at Palmerton for 3 years. Now they're going to count on a sophomore to move this offense. 1st and 10, good field position from the Palmerton 47-yard line. Movement all along the line of scrimmage. This may be against Caddy. It looked like Paul Speck may have moved first, although...
I think they got Palmerton procedure, Gary. That left guard seemed to come out and cross the line.
The left guard certainly did move. It's a matter of who moved first. It's going to be, says Marty Androvic, offsides against Caddy.
Good call, Gary.
It looked like Speck was the first one to make the move.
Well, he probably made the contact.
1st and 5 at the roughly 38.
Takes the ball into Catasauqua territory. 1st and 5 from the 48.
1st and 5. That's about 1st and 4, isn't it? Somebody got a bad eye on that one.
Well,
Gary.
one of the referees a little bow-legged out there, and
wow.
It is a 1st and 5, but it's 4.
That would be my first time out of the night.
Reyes handles that first snap, gives the ball to Recker. Recker maybe got a yard at best. We talked to Manny Gatiss about his ball club and about being in this position tonight and about the season, and this is what Manny told us.
This year, you know, the football team has really excelled, and the community is really behind the program. They're downtown. There was a big bonfire last night, signs all over the community, and everybody's excited because we're in the district playoffs. It hasn't happened too often here at Palmer. Last time was in '85, so, you know, the atmosphere is great. Everybody's excited.
And the atmosphere is great here, as Dick kind of alluded to the fact it's a lot like the Lehighton Central game last week. Good move by Reyes to avoid some trouble. We do have a penalty flag down. The ball is inside the 45 to the 44-yard line, and we'll just hold everything and see what the signal is here before calling the 3rd down play. And this is going to be a legal procedure called against Palmerton, their first penalty of the night.
Gary, a plus for Reyes, of course, was the 1st down penalty. Makes it a lot easier to handle the ball on a 1st and 5. And that time he showed a lot of athleticism, which we were told he possesses. Could be the next great athlete coming out of Palmerton.
49-yard line will be 2nd and 9.
The ball placed on the 49-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 9. I'm not sure if they evened up the 6-yard penalties or not, Dick. We had a 2nd and 4, now a 2nd and 9, and I guess they didn't even up. Here comes the handoff to Slifka. He's 5'10", he's a 200-pound junior. Slifka gets the ball to right about midfield. And he'll gain a yard on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and, we'll call it 7, so we'll give him 2.
Well, you know, and I was so proud of Marty, too, Gary. He said coin toss instead of toin toss. You know, he got that one right. He didn't drop the coin, although he pocketed it. You know, and he pronounced Al Capobianco correctly.
I like the way he put his glasses on, Dick, before the flip of the coin. Made a good catch, too, and asked Al to read the coin. Here's a throw out to Rarick. Rarick has some running room. He's down the sidelines. Rarick is tripped up at the 24-yard line. Rarick picks up 26 yards on the pass play. 1st down, Bombers.
That's the play that worked so well for Allendale. Okay, Gillespie to James Reimer. You see it here. Again, nothing but the little isolation. Watch this. Quick pass. Get it to the wideout quickly, and then let him dance and do his one-on-one. Finds a seam, goes outside, and only an ankle tackle
by Andrews. Yeah, Jason Andrews stuck out the left arm to put him down. The ball just inside the 25. 2 pass plays now, each for 26 yards by Palmerton. Recker with the football does a nice step to the inside-outside, and Recker with a good run down to about the 16-yard line. We'll see where they mark it. If they put it at the 16, it'll be a gain of 8. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 2.
That time Lawler decides to blitz, and somebody, I didn't get the number, guys, somebody picked him up, enabling Recker to get to the outside, and he's all the speed we were told he was when he hits the corner.
Boy, Dick, he gave that good left leg to the inside, pulled it to the outside, and only Drew Ondish was able to put him down as it's a 2nd and 2. The ball on the 16-yard line, out wide to the left side, Trent Everett. So Reyes has come in here and moved this football team and moved them very well. Recker with a football, steps up inside. Linton turned it back, and there's going to be a loss on the play, maybe of a yard, unless he got back to the line of scrimmage. He did not. There's a loss of a yard on the play. He's going to bring up a 3rd and 3.
We're talking about a team that averages 3 scores a game, 21.5 coming in, 236 points scored in their 9-2 record. So it is an offensive machine. It's a machine that wants to control the ball and the clock.
Ball's on about the 17-yard line. Eric Haight is an outstanding field goal kicker, so keep that name in mind if Palmerton does not get a first down here. That's a lateral to Everett, and Everett finds running room. He's got a touchdown. Trent Everett scores from the 17-yard line, and he does get tackled, Dick, at the 2, so it's a 15-yard gain. And we'll have to see whether this is a lateral. I think this is a lateral and not a pass.
Well, again, it's the end result there. It's nothing more than the isolation play. Get it out there and let him do his thing. This time a different receiver, same result.
First and goal from the 2, a 15-yard gain on the run on the lateral. It's Recker. Recker hit in the backfield by John Linton. John Linton, 6'2", 230-pound senior, an outstanding linebacker. There's going to be a loss of a yard back to the 3.
Patty Gary's linebackers are going to be such an important issue for their defense. Obviously because they want to get to Recker and Slivka before they get that head of steam going. So you're going to see them doing an awful lot of inside stunning.
1:08 to go in the first period. Palmerton threatening for the second time. They're within 3 yards of a touchdown. Here comes the pitch to Recker. Slipka trying to throw a block. Recker gets back to the 2-yard line, it appears, tackled by Brad Lauer. So he got the yard back that he lost. It's going to bring up a 3rd and goal to go from the 2.
Comes a critical series here now, Gary. Do you want to just put points on the board if the 3rd down fails and go for the field goal? Or do you want to say we're down and it's our best against your best, we're going to go for it?
Well, what they want to say, Dick, is timeout, as they're going to talk this one over on a 3rd and goal to go from the 2. 43 seconds to go in the first period. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And enjoy a fabulous craft extravaganza from now till Christmas. And remember that Santa's arriving on November 21st at 11 a.m. Dick, that's Santa's arrival, 11 a.m. November 21st. And he will be available daily for pictures. That's Santa, not Dick. Gift certificates are available at the mall office. All this and more at the Westgate Mall. I think he arrived now on Channersville Road in Bethlehem. That's the Westgate Mall.
Check that cider there. They got something in that cider over there.
You know, they're all headed to Ashashakikla or something, Dick, and they're...
God bless you, guys.
Yeah. Big play, 3rd and goal to go. Recker, is he in? No signal yet from either official. Looks like he stopped shy. That was Cantola in on the tackle, and Dickey appears to be about a yard shy of the touchdown.
Well, I think you got to go for it, Gary, even though you'd like to be the first one to put points on the board, because even if you don't make it, boy, you leave that defense in a great position.
They're going to go for the field goal. Eric Haight will attempt a 20-yard field goal and try to get the Blue Bombers on the board first. Holding is Bollinger. The kick is up. The kick is good.
He kicked that to Aquashikala, you know what?
I think he might have. 7 seconds on the clock. Palmerton's on the board first, and Eric Haight, 20-yard field goal. It's Palmerton 3, Caddy nothing. He has teed the ball up to kick it. Caddy will not show you their people until the kick is made so that John Linton can field it, but he's not going to get it. Brad Lauer has the football, and Lauer looking for some running room. And I'll tell you, Dick Tracy, the Blue Bombers have come here tonight to hit, and they are hitting on every play.
It's a little bit as if as we described it in the pregame, Gary. You have a Caddy taking the business-like approach, and Palmerton taking that emotional approach. Now, the idea that score for Palmerton, you know, you talk about leaving them down there in the 1 and playing good defense if you don't get it. But Palmerton wants to come up big and put points. They're down twice. They got to get points on the board once.
There will not be another play in the first period. It's Palmerton 3 and Caddy nothing. Caddy will have the ball 1st and 10 on their own 26-yard line. We'll be right back. Second time tonight, for the first time, they're trailing in the ball game by a 3-0 score. As Ed Erie brings his ball club out, he's got Lauer up and Linton deep. And Erie's going to throw the ball. He's looking, gets the ball. His arm was hit, and it just falls into no man's land, intended for Jason Andrews, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, they run that pattern. It's been so successful for them, Gary, all year. They take 2 men on one side. The one big, deep, long just tries to take the secondary out and then cut a man underneath them. That time he had his arm rattled, and in a way, he's lucky it fell short because you had 4 or 5 blue jerseys right around there.
Eric Haight, the man that caused some problems that time. He's a big kid, 5'11".
I'm impressed with him. I watched him pregame, Gary. He's here to play a little football.
So it's 2nd and 10 from the 26. A good close-up look at the senior quarterback. He hands the ball off to the first man through. That's Brad Lauer, tackled by Ernie Rarick and Mark Recker. The gain up to the 29-yard line. A pickup of, we'll give them 4 and call it the 30s.
You know, we started the show, Gary, by saying old-time football, as exemplified by the fact that so many kids are going both ways for both squads. You'll see an awful lot of minutes put on the board by individuals this evening.
Erie looking at a 3rd and 6. Gives the ball to Linton. Linton barrels forward before wrapped up by Lyman Gruber. Gruber, a big kid at 208, and John Linton did not get a first down. As he got the ball to the 33-yard line, he only picked up 3 yards. Caddy is short. They're going to have to punt it away again.
Well, defensively, Palmerton has come in with the glowing stats, and they have showed them thus far, that's for sure.
And it looks like Palmerton, Dick's going to get good field position again. They started their first drive on the 38, the second on the 47. Jason Andrews to punt it away to Mark Recker. The left-footed punter gets off a good spiral and sends Recker all the way back to the 29-yard line. He slips, regains his footing, and now tries to get to the outside, and does, and finally will step out of bounds at the 41-yard line. The punt itself covered 38 yards.
I'll tell you guys, a little bit of that green young man from Lehighton we saw last year. He's Mr. Excitement when he's around the ball.
We have a penalty flag down on the field. It will hold everything. As Marty Androvic says, we have a clip against Palmerton. That will be their 2nd penalty of the night for 20 yards. And this is going to set them back 15 yards. So the ball should be all the way back to the 26-yard line.
The Palmerton fans wanted a late hit, Gary, but I think it was just trying to stop your momentum and really didn't knock them down, almost just bumped them, went down with them.
The Blue Bombers, 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Out over the football is Brent Rarick, number 57. Rarick 52, 5'10", 170 pound, and junior center. We've got a penalty flag before everything. Normally, this means somebody lines up in that neutral area. We have no procedure against Palmerton, so all of a sudden they're hit by the penalty bug. They're 3rd for 25 yards.
You know, Gary, in a way, many people expected Palmerton to come up. Maybe not this big, but certainly to come up with some good numbers. You're talking about a team that returned 3/4 of its backfield and 4 out of 5 interior linemen. So this is a veteran team.
Keener comes to the sideline. You get a look at the most famous ankle in the ball game right now, and that's Chris Lusakanish. And trying to figure something out, I think, with the lace. Here comes the pitch back to Recker. Recker cuts up inside, does a nice job going against the grain. Linton is there to wrap him up, along with Jason Cantola, as he gets the ball out over the 20 to about the 23-yard line, a gain of a couple.
Well, they're a run-oriented offense. It features the 3 backs. The quarterback is the option back, Slivick, of course, with the inside run, and Recker the outside threat. Recker, when he was at wing back, of course, you always got that reverse or the toss pitch, something like that. But now he really has added speed since Hahn has departed.
2nd and 13. The ball on the 23-yard line. It's Recker again. Cantola is there, along with 52, and that's Lee Levine. And there's Helmet Cam. That sucker works every week anymore, Dick. Boy, what does David Letterman have that we don't have?
Yeah.
There's even a better shot, looking at official through Helmet Cam.
I've looked at a few officials through bars in my lifetime.
And rightfully so. We've got a 3rd and 12. The ball on the 23.5-yard line. See if they'll let Reyes throw the ball. They will. He just misses the fingertips of big number 86. Eric Bollinger falls incomplete, and for the first time tonight, the Blue Bombers are going to have to punt the ball away. Their punter is Eric Haight.
We're seeing so much of that pass pattern lately, Gary. A little look in, but what they do is they let them clear the linebackers. The linebackers, especially in a 44, up pretty close. So you just time it. Little look in, usually to the tight end.
This is where Caddy has been so dangerous this year on special team plays, particularly if you get the ball in the hands of Jason Andrews. Oh my, what a beautiful punt. Driving Lauer all the way back to the 27-yard line, and Lauer brings the ball up over the 40, but there's a penalty flag down on the field. Dick Tracy, a 51-yard punt.
I told you, that's a lot of leg. Gary, the Palmerton young players were signaling a clip on that play.
I think their signal is going to be a correct one. Marty Ondrovic says it is a clip. Caddy's third penalty for 35 yards. And this one is going to set them back to about the 30 or the 26-yard line.
I'll tell you, Haight doesn't get the ball in his hands much except a kick or punt, but he is a real weapon for this Palmerton club.
Caddy has started 3 drives from their own 18, their own 26, and now their own 26. So it's been a night played in Palmerton or in Catasauqua territory. It's Brad Lauer, the ball carrier. He's wrapped up by Lyman Gruber, 78. Lauer maybe got a couple. Call it 2nd and 8.
Yeah, this isn't a mistake we're seeing, Gary. You're talking about a team here that has pitched shutouts in its last 2 games. That's tough, especially late season when you're a little nicked up. You know, when some of the teams you're playing are going for different styles of offenses, knowing they're playing a more competitive team. So, hey, you're talking 23-0 Northwestern, 21-0 Northern Lehigh.
It's only Notre Dame that roughed them up a little bit. 28 points scored by the Crusaders. John Linton gets up ahead of steam, and Linton gets the ball up over the 35. Gruber in on the tackle again. The ball placed down at the 36-yard line, and it's going to be close to a first down.
Good point, Gary, about Notre Dame scoring those points, because the only other team that scored 3 touchdowns against Palmerton would be Stroudsburg. And Stroudsburg, of course, sitting on top of that Centennial now, and 2 of those touchdowns were defensive touchdowns.
Talk to Manny about the Notre Dame game. Notre Dame scored on the last play of the ball game, 99 yards on a fake punt, and everybody in the building knew it was going to be a fake punt, and yet Palmerton was unable to stop it. I said, Manny, except for the Notre Dame game, you've had a great season. He said, yeah, but I can't throw that game away. It counts.
Yeah.
Tony Choi, the PA man with his eagle eye, has called it 3rd and short. The ball is just shy of a first down.
He figured it out by himself, too, Gary. That's even better.
Well, no, I did hear him confirm.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was confirmed. Handoff to Lauer, and Lauer has the first down. Gain of a couple on the play, and Lauer's going to get first down number 2 for Catasauqua.
Well, the important thing for Caddy here is they've got a little bit of their Lauer and Linton tandem unwound a little bit, Gary. They're giving them just a little bit running room up front. They made ample yards. Get a little drive generated.
Caddy with 27 yards on the ground, 6 yards in the air. Palmerton at the moment 34 yards on the ground and 52 yards in the air. Palmerton leads it by a 3-0 score as Caddy held them on about the 3-foot line. Hand off to Linton. Linton again doing a lot of bobbing and weaving, and he is cut down on the play by Recker. And John, if he is not cut down, Dick may have gone all the way.
Yeah, what he cut down on, Gary, was the ankle. And I'll tell you, John Linton is going to limp his way right off the field, so I think, because he's hobbling a little bit. But that's where he got him. It looked like the ankle sort of went backward. That thing's hurt more by the moment.
Jesse Quinn comes into the ball game, and John Linton is going off, and you see why.
Yeah, he had his pin taken out.
See the tackle by Recker, and Recker just simply caught him by the ankle. And we've got an injury to John Linton, so a couple of the stars, Lusakanish and Linton, find themselves right now unable to perform. We're going to call timeout. We'll be right back. And right now we have Linton sidelined. We have Lusakanish sidelined. It's 1st and 10. Or check it, 2nd and 1 for Caddy. The ball's on the 48-yard line. And now, Dick, I think when we see Caddy run the football, you're going to see Lauer with it almost the rest of the night.
Lauer on the carry.
Well, you remember, Gary, we saw that earlier in the year when Linton was on the injury list. Lauer plays some fullback, some tailback, just a little bit of everything.
Looks like Lauer got the first down. Marty Androvic giving it a look, and he has yet to make the signal. He is now going to do it. First down number 3 for Caddy. The ball is just shy of the 50-yard line. And we'll call it the midfield spot.
Linton back in, Gary.
Well, John Linton is back into the ball game. 6th play of the drive. And that has to pick up the Rough Riders just a bit. Linton's going to get the ball. And he's going to get a few yards as he gets the ball into Blue Bomber territory to about the 48-yard line. Recker in on the tackle along with Slipka, number 33. A gain of 3. We'll call it 2nd and 7.
I had a nice, isolated, relaxing chat with Eddie Sense. Of course, every chat with Eddie is relaxing. And he told me about, hey, you know, this strange opponent and teams you haven't played, he says it's all 2 things. It's blocking and tackling. Said it really doesn't matter. He said, by this time, he said, you've seen everything and done everything, so it's just a matter of honing a few fine points.
Well, Dick, I guess after you've won 122 football games, it is just blocking and tackling. Hand off to Lauer. Lauer tripped up. Otherwise, he had some possibilities. Mike Miller in on the tackle, number 51. He reached out and grabbed his ankle. And the ball inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. A gain of 3. We'll call it 3rd and 4.
I'm amazed the way Eddie Sense's demeanor never changes, Gary. Got off the bus, he says, hey, Dick, you know where the locker room is? This is new for us. Very calmly. Someone comes up to him and says, gee, we're going to have to move your benches. You don't have much room. No problem. We'll handle it.
You know, Ed did color one time for me on TV4. Did a good job. Linton bounces off a tackler, then is put down by Recker. I'll tell you what, Recker at 5'7", 177 pounds is all over the football field.
Yeah, he hits a little bit. I'll tell you, we got somebody who filled the hole real well defensively for the Blue Bombers, and Recker just stepped in, and this is a big play for Caddy.
Gain of only a yard on the play, 4th and 3, as the ball is on the 43-yard line. And Caddy is going to go for it. So a big play here in the 2nd period. 4:25, the clock is running. The Blue Bomber fans are up and now. It looks like Caddy's going to punt the ball away. That's exactly what they'll do as Ed Erie steps back. He pooches it up in the air, and it takes a Blue Bomber bounce.
Well, what they did, Gary, is they showed they come on the tee, tried to draw him off sides when they switched, and Erie simply went for the quarterback spot, does a little punting, and went deep. You try to catch him offensively with the offside. You try to catch him defensively by pinning him back without a proper man in safety position.
Well, the good news is they did catch him off sides. The bad news is it was an 18-yard punt. So the ball on the 25-yard line, 1st and 10 for Palmerton. And again, Jesse Reyes stays in there at quarterback. Chris Lusakanish shaken up defensively in the 1st period. And Reyes has come in and done a good job. Recker with the ball. Recker avoids a tackler, avoids another tackler. A couple of Caddy guys reach out and just get air as Linton along with Paul Speck in on the tackle. And Recker gets the ball to the 26-yard line, a gain of a yard.
Boy, Horn must have been some football player, Gary, you know, when this guy was playing wingback.
On the season had 732 yards before he was shaken up. Recker has had over 100 yards in each full game he's played. Ball is loose. It's just laying there for somebody to reach out and grab it. The ball was fumbled, and Slipka, he was the only guy who knew he fumbled it. He reached out and picked it up.
You know, we talked about records being over the 100-yard mark in the games in which he's played. This is 4 now that he's taken the place. And his one effort included a 36-carry, 161-yard effort in that big 7 win over Saucon. And beating Saucon, and made a few people stand up and take notice, Gary.
Well, at that time, Dick, that looked like the ball game to determine who would get into district. Saucon was the other contender. 3rd and 8, the ball's on the 27-yard line. With the football is Ernie Rarick carrying it for the first time. And Rarick is knocked out of bounds by Michael Gilmartin, the senior. And the gain is up to the 29-yard line. Brings up a 4th and 6.
You know, you have talked, Gary, and we've noticed skilled position people so much this year. Palmerton seemed to be able to fit their people in its skilled position, utilizing the speed and the power stuff.
Haight gets a high snap, has no trouble fielding it. It kicks an end-over-end kick. It's going to bounce at about the 43-yard line and then take a Palmerton bounce, but right into Jason Andrews' hands at the 32. Andrews going to get the ball into Palmerton territory. 39-yard punt. Hemingway and Haight in on the tackle, but a good return by Andrews gives Catasauqua the football. 1st and 10 at about the 48-yard line, and 2 minutes and 14 seconds left to go in the first period. And I told you the people in Palmerton were excited.
Wow.
They also are a little crazy. Look at that guy.
Do you know who played the Thing, Gary, in the movie The Thing from Another Planet? There's a trivia. That's what I thought of when I looked at that guy. That was James Arness.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
He was the Thing.
You think I'm a dummy, huh?
Another Catasauqua player shaken up, Jason Andrews, and they can ill afford to lose his services, Dick.
Andrews caught the Bombers all napping a little bit there, Gary. They expected the punt to come backwards, and as they watched the direction it was going to go on the punt, Andrews came out of nowhere, picked it up, and got great yardage, and ended up with the Roughies get great field position.
For the first time tonight, Caddy is going to get the football in Blue Bomber territory to start a drive. But before that, their major concern is 6 foot, 162-pound senior, do everything. Jason Andrews will be back. From the 47-yard line, Caddy may not have enough time on the clock to keep the ball on the ground. As you see, we're approaching the 2-minute mark. So let's see if Ed Erie is going to fill the air with footballs. It's Erie. A little bit of an option. He gives the ball to Linton. Linton steps around a few people. Linton has the sideline. John Linton down the sideline. If he stayed inbound, he'll go. He did not. He's knocked out at the 20-yard line. A gain of 27 yards and a first down.
What a great call, Gary. 2 features before the featured run by Linton. That was a little pump fake which showed look-in pass, then the quick pitch, and then Linton doing his speed around that far sideline. This is just a great call. Looks pass, and then the pitch.
Well, Dick, they're going to take away some of the yardage. Can only give them 15 yards on the play as they came all the way back to the 32-yard line. So John Linton picks up first down number 4 as the ball is placed down at the 32. 1st and 10 for Caddy.
And in its last 2 possessions, the Roughies have shown some pretty good running offense.
Closer to the 31, 1st and 10. Linton again. This time he slips as he receives the football, and he's knocked down by Lyman Gruber. Gruber was right there to meet him, and the clock will continue to run as there's a loss of a yard on the play.
Lyman Gruber, one of the co-captains in the game as we hit the 1.5-minute mark. He goes 2-way, another great senior performer for the Blue Bombers.
I asked Manny to tell me about his outstanding defense, and he said Recker, Slifka, and Gruber make the plays for me defensively. Erie, back to throw, looking, sideline, miscommunication. The only one there with a chance to catch the football was Cody Gildner, and the ball goes incomplete.
Yeah, that was obvious. Gary, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty now, and if the ball is turned back to Palmerton, you got Lusakanish down in front of us, and he's really working out as if he's ready to get back in the game.
1:10, 3rd and 11. Caddy not successful so far throwing the ball. They're 1 for 4 for 6 yards. And you get a look at Chris Lusakanish taking some snaps from center. So we may see him back in the lineup by the second half. Big play for the Rough Riders. 3rd and 11. It's Erie. Straight drop back. He's looking and looking and firing over the middle through the hands of Andrews and then almost caught by Trent Everett.
I'll tell you, that was almost a little bit of floating to another receiver.
It was Andrews and then Everett who had a shot at it. Good protection this time for Erie, and that's a good pass. Andrews on most occasions will catch that ball. 4th and 11. Caddy obviously in 4-down territory, sends Andrews out wide to the right side. In the slot is Travis Brett. Back to throw is Erie. He's getting time again. Steps up. Fires downfield. Is it a good catch? It is not. Incomplete. Intended for 88. Travis Brett. And Palmerton will take over on downs 1st and 10 with 57 seconds on the clock.
They went to their favorite pattern, Gary, and that is that simply long and then underneath, both on the same side, flooded area. Now that's twice now that I've been looking draw. But, of course, I was at the Bangor game. We saw what a big play that came up for the men.
Listen, Canish is in. I would doubt, Dick, in this situation, if Manny Gatiss is going to take any chances. You get the ball in Mark Recker's hands, you'll always have a chance for the long run.